Oh, hello, ladies and gentlemen. I see someone asking, where am I? I'm here, ladies and gents. I'm here. We are live every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 9 p.m. GMT, and that is 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Yes, that's right. I know my time zones. I've got it. I've got it nailed. If you don't know what this is the round table. I said that a little bit odd. This is the round table. Where I sit here with friends of the channel or interesting people in the industry that I can get on to discuss some bits and pieces with. Today, we're joined with Ellie Moses as well as Andre from Midnight's Edge to discuss the Godzilla versus Kong trailer, because the hype is real, ladies and gents. The hype is real. So, how are you all doing?
Doing well,
I'm good, thank you. Greetings, Silly.
Greetings, Andre. Nice to meet you.
Likewise.
Well, I do need to change my my background. I've left it from the Psycho Gorman review that I had. Psycho Gorman. Side note, great, absolutely loved it. So, not a bad one to leave on. In fairness, so
I look forward to seeing it. I really do.
It's really good. I really enjoyed it. So anyway, what did you think of the fucking trailer? Tell me you've watched it, Andre.
Of course I have. I liked it.
Right, what did you think of
it
it then?
What? More than I thought.
What? What?
Yeah.
More than you thought? Why?
Yeah.
Tell me all. Give me a review. Was it good? Was it bad?
Okay. Yeah, well, to begin with, I'm really not that big a fan of either King Kong or Godzilla. Yeah, like I like the original classic King Kong movie, and I like all the other ones fine. I respect the original Godzilla. I love the remake, the Shin Godzilla remake. That is
okay. Yeah,
Shin
Godzilla.
Yeah, no, I love that one. All the Toho movies in between the two, I think, are utterly unwatchable. And I think the Godzilla 2014 is at best okay. My favorite part of Godzilla King of Monsters was the end credits, where we got a little bit hint into the mythology.
So you don't like the new Godzilla at all, then?
No, not so much. No. And Kong Skull Island, yeah, that was alright. Had its moments. But this trailer actually got me like more intrigued for something that I really haven't cared about one bit up until this moment. And where I got like the chills was when he's like on the aircraft carrier, and then they're attacked by Godzilla, because Godzilla, he's bigger, he looks stronger, he has like that atomic breath and everything, so he should have the upper hand big time. And then it's on the ocean on top of that. I mean, you drop Kong in the middle of the ocean, and he's gonna have a problem. And he's only floating on like those carriers, and if Godzilla takes them out, well, then he's pretty much done for, isn't he? I mean, how long can he stay afloat?
Well, we see him jumping off. We see him jumping off one of the boats.
Yeah, exactly. Let's freaking hope that he can get back on one of them again, so he can like float back to the orb or something. So that just there, I was like, shit, this is not his element. And I was like surprised, because I was like into it in that moment. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this much more than I thought I would be. So yeah, pleasantly surprised for something that I really haven't enjoyed all that much up until this point.
Wow. All right. I'm glad you're looking forward to it. Anyway, Ellie, what did you think?
I think I've seen the trailer more than a dozen times at the moment. I've seen it a lot of times. I had my little cousins all come over yesterday, and I think I watched it 4 or 5 times with them. They had it on repeat as well. And then I showed my uncle, and then they all want to go. They all want to go watch it, because theaters like gratefully are open here. So definitely day one opening, we're going there. I think it was a fantastic
you got theaters
trailer.
open there, have you?
Yeah, theaters have been open always here.
Son of a bitch. we don't have them.
The IMAX is
not
open, being renovated. So
sadly, we'll have to see how it goes. So yeah, you thought it was.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the trailer, and it's done really well view-wise, and especially
20 million views.
Yeah, that's just on the main one as well.
There's that's on the Warner Brothers one. Yeah, 20 million views, which is I mean, that's insane.
Yeah.
I mean, the trailer for Dune only has like 25 million, I think it was, and that's since it's been released. I mean,
20
so.
mil,
What do you think about that as a comparison, Andre?
Insane, completely insane. So this is going to be huge. It's going to be really huge for HBO Max, and it's going to be comparatively huge in the few theaters that it'll open in.
I think so. Actually, everyone, just to put this in comparison, right? Just to put this in comparison, the Batman first trailer, right, which was released 5 months ago, has 27 million views, right? The Godzilla vs. Kong trailer that was released 1 day ago has 20 million views. Quite mad, to be perfectly honest.
I think that many people must be having like the same reaction that I did. I think that with those kind of reviews, it must be bringing in people that weren't interested before, that are interested in the matchup, but that didn't care too much about the individual features. Because to be fair, none of them did like bangbusters at the box office. But this one right here, with this kind of trailer views, that shows some level of interest.
Oh, well, again, I'm looking through the official Warner Brothers channel right now. 1 year ago, the first Wonder Woman 1984 trailer dropped, and in 1 year, it's only had 39 million views. Again, remember, 1 day, 20 million views. That's insane. That is actually insane. That's staggering. I think it's number 1 on trending. As far as I can tell, I'm fairly certain it's number 1 on trend. That's crazy. I mean, it's great, but it's still crazy. Okay, no, it was number 1 on trending. Now it's been moved down by the looks of it. So,
you can't be number 1 on trending for all that long, can you? So that's
it's still the highest viewed on trending.
Yeah, but they've up there. It's insane still.
Yeah, it's number 2 on trending. YouTube would have artificially moved it down because that's what they do. But it's the highest viewed on 20 million views in a day. Fuck. So what do you think? Like, good or bad? Like, what's it going to do numbers wise? I mean, we're open in some markets, right? What do you think?
Ellie?
How does it work with the streaming and calculating? Obviously, because
we don't know yet. It doesn't really.
Snyder Cut's coming out the day before, isn't it?
I don't know if it's a day before.
It's coming out a week before. It's a week.
Yeah, that makes complete sense to me, because we recently learned that the Snyder Cut, which was intended to be a miniseries, right now has been restructured to become just 1 4-hour movie, which tells me that they've lost faith in it. They don't think it's going to be their Mandalorian. I think that's why they're putting it right now instead of November or something. They put it right now so they can suffer a bad news cycle before Godzilla vs. Kong comes out and washes all the stuff. That's my thought on that.
I'm sorry, Andre. You turned into a robot just then and disappeared into the ether. Can you please repeat the final bit of what you just said?
Oh, okay. Well, as if I don't sound like a robot already.
It wasn't that. No, mate. It was the connection. The connection crapped out, so you just sort of went faded off into nothingness. No, I think that that's actually deliberate, that they're putting out the Snyder Cut 1 week before Godzilla vs. Kong. That tells me that they've lost faith in the Snyder Cut, which is now being released as 1 movie instead of a miniseries. So I think that they fully expect 1 bad news cycle, and then the week after, Godzilla vs. Kong is going to come out and make everything fine again with loads of rave reviews and everything like that. In terms of how to measure the success, we won't see the numbers, but they will measure the success in how many new subscribers does it deliver to HBO Max, because this is all about pushing HBO Max for them. That's it. So if it brings in millions of new subscribers, then that's a hit. In terms of like financial gain and financial success, the movie has been designated right now a loss leader, and whatever they can get in theaters, that's a nice I'll tell you what, though,
bonus.
You can see now with 20 million views in a day, you can see exactly why Legendary were trying to hold off, and we're going to seek legal action against HBO, Warner Brothers. You can see why, because they were like, well, fuck, people want this. we could make some mega money with this. So I reckon some money would have probably exchanged hands with Warner Brothers on this a little bit, maybe. If the trailer is anything to go by, and if that's a direct correlation to what Legendary were thinking about, like absolutely, would have had to have been. Real quick, got a super chat just before it disappears. Michael West, they made Kong slow when he was fighting Godzilla. Do you think so? I thought he was about on par with what he was in Skull Island. Any thoughts on that? I thought he was about on par.
Maybe because he's grown. Maybe because he's grown, gets a bit slower, I guess.
Yeah, maybe. Well, I mean,
more effort for the punch.
But he's off balance, isn't he? He's off balance on an aircraft carrier, throwing a punch, and he's bigger.
He's 3 times bigger.
Well, he did look pretty mobile running through the city at the end with the neon lights.
He did, and like lifting the axe above his head,
and then pretty full on run.
Yeah. So let's. I this whole thing today, this whole stream is just. I just want to sort of geek out about it, basically.
100%.
I just want to talk about it. I just want to go, bit by bit. What were your favorite bits of the trailer? Did anyone see Mecha G? Mecha G.
Yeah.
Where though? Because there's been some discussion about this. A lot of people have been confused, saying that you can actually see Mecha G's eyes in the explosion at the start, which actually you can't. So I probably good to like clarify this actually. So let me try and find a good image of it, because a lot of people are like, oh yeah, it's definitely Mecha G, but it's my fucking internet now because I'm bloody streaming. So so when you, there you go. I'm doing loads of crap at the same time. Here we go. Right. So on image here, a lot of people are saying that if you look in what looks notable at the top there, sort of, I don't know, just right of center at the very top, you can see one glowing thing and then a another glowing thing. A lot of people are saying that they think that that's Mecha G, which I sort of disagree with, because if you follow it and you track it, which I did do, it's actually just buildings. Oh. So Mecha G is definitely in it, without a shadow of a doubt, but that's just a building and it stays stationary the whole time. So I'm just tracking it now myself, and then I'll take another screenshot and you'll see why it's literally just a building, because it stays there. I mean, it might not be, but I'm pretty certain it is. I think it's just one of the buildings in the mountainside. Mecha G is 100% in it because we've seen it.
Yeah.
But again, here you go. See there. See again, right of center. Right of center. Right of center. It's literally it's just a building on the mountainside, which isn't bad. But I think a lot of people are kind of reading into it a little bit too much. I think it could still be Mecha G, but I don't think it is. But what do you think about the prospect of Mecha G being in it?
I'm really excited. I think I don't know how they're going to work it in plot wise. I think obviously with the screenshot, I remember you picked it out in your trailer breakdown behind Dr. Serizawa's son. Obviously the sort of synchronizing or whatever upload thing they're going with, but obviously there has to be a motive behind it. How they're going to work it into the story? Because
revenge, because Godzilla killed his dad, I guess.
There's this screenshot or like the sort of little mini 1 second clip where he's terrorizing the city and people are running down the stairwell.
That's definitely Mecha G.
Yeah, because if you look at it, it looks too squarey and too shiny. Not shiny, but
no, it does. It does. It looks. There's a silver sheen to it. 100%. There's a silver sheen.
It's too sharp to be Godzilla in terms of how the face looks, and that's what I think about that.
Yeah,
but
okay. Andre's disappeared. He'll be back. You're thinking about this one.
Yeah, because it just looks too squarey to be the normal Godzilla.
Yeah, well, I mean, you can see the spines at the back.
Sense. Yeah.
You see the spines at the back. Like it's 100% Mecha G. You know, and yeah, true. The thing in the mountain top might be Mecha G, but it doesn't. If you start tracking it from frame by frame, it just looks like a building. Like it literally just looks like the other buildings. So I could be wrong, but I mean, this one's 100% Mecha G. So yeah, the one in the hilltop might be, but who knows? But yeah, I mean, that's epic. I really think like Mecha G being in this is quite a good idea. I think that's a good way to quickly. I mean, I was quite against it actually when I first heard about it. Like, I don't know, like last year, if that, maybe even a little bit before that, when the rumors started going around. Because I was like, well, how are they going to do this? Mm-hmm. But seeing how they're framing this world as being much more bright and vibrant, I'm like, well, it sort of goes in with all of that, I think. And now that it seems to be, Serizawa's son doing it, it kind of adds up even more, because I'm like, well, yeah, I could sort of see that, you know, he'd have this sort of vendetta against Godzilla, maybe, yes. But then I'm thinking, like, well,
his father did sacrifice himself, like he wanted to do it. Like,
well, that's what I was thinking. I was like, well, maybe it's not a vendetta against him then. Maybe it's him, you know, I don't know, following in some footsteps. Maybe it was.
I'm hoping the motive is just. I want the motive to be sort of clear, unlike Pacific Rim Uprising with the like Charlie Day's character, the doctor.
Oh, that was dumb. Let's not do any of that shit.
I was just like, what the heck is that? Like,
yeah, that's lazy. It's a complete cop out. Complete cop out. We got a super chat here from Classic Gamer Bobby for $10. Thank you so much. Do you think Apex used Ghidorah's DNA to create a synthetic skin, since it has regenerative properties on the Godzilla we saw in the trailer? So a lot of people think that the Godzilla we see in the trailer is MechaGodzilla, and I actually don't think that that's the case. Mainly because all of the toy leaks that we've seen, and like, it doesn't make any sense narratively. It would make sense if they're doing an homage to Toho, like 100% full on, get that, yeah, sure. But you've got to remember, in the trailer alone, they've already established, and in previous films, they've established that Godzilla and Kong as a species have fought before. So I don't see the benefit of doing it. I just don't see the point. It would be, and also as well, like it seems a weird fake out to do that. Because then are you not get like where the cave paintings from then? Like there's no Mecha G's back then. They did actually fight, so it just seems a bit contrived. And I would feel like that's a cop out. I get why people think that that's the case, but I just don't think it is. A lot of people are thinking that, the fact that he's going crazy, and it's like, yeah, but remember, we got the Orca technology. You know, he might be going mad. Godzilla might be going angry because we've got the Orca technology, which was established in King of the Monsters, which everyone seems to forget about. But like, why couldn't you use that? Or why couldn't there be, using the Ghidorah subject? Why couldn't he have Apex be moving around Ghidorah's head? Transporting it to these different locations, and that's why Godzilla's going tearing them apart. I don't know. What do you guys think?
Well, I personally, I love theorizing, and I think that trailer did that well. It didn't reveal too much about the plot, and I was happy with that.
Nothing.
It showed some cool scenes. Hopefully, there's more action scenes, and that's not all the monster fights. But
yeah, I hope they don't release another one. I hope, and I'd love it, because people from a channel perspective, people love the reactions and the videos, and I love doing them. But from my own perspective and also the fan perspective, I just hope they don't release another one, because I don't want them to ruin any more, to be honest.
I think everyone wants more, but hold back, please.
Exactly.
Especially on the story point, they didn't reveal too much. I love theorizing, and the theories went everywhere yesterday, and I just love that the fan base is all united. You see on Twitter,
that's why the views are so high, because people are coming back going, well, what did I miss? There was that there. Oh, there was that there. Oh, what could this? Is this going to? And that's great. That's how you do a trailer.
I saw some guy, he put a cool, and sorry for talking too much, but he put a theory out that when...
That is what you're here to do, mate. It's fine.
Fair enough.
You're right.
This was before the trailer came out. Remember the TV spots with Kong with the axe?
Yeah.
So guys, if you look at the trajectory, there's the Godzilla was sort of side on, and he's not aiming at Kong, he's aiming at the axe, so that she's charging up the axe to hit someone else. But then the trailer obviously showed that
actually reveals him hitting him, full blown hitting him. Yeah. What do you think to this, Andre? Do you think?
I think it's a perfect trailer.
No. This question: do you think that they could have made Are you aware of MechaGodzilla having?
Yes, I'm aware. I'm aware.
Do you think that's a possibility with this or not?
I think it's a possibility. I absolutely.
But would you like
I don't know what. No, I wouldn't like it at all. To me, I agree with you. It seems. Well, of course, it depends on the execution. But my initial thoughts on the idea is that would be like a major cop out. There you have like a robot Godzilla that looks exactly like the real thing swimming around. Of course, that would explain why he's acting all weird and attacking people. This would explain that. And then like the real one has to come later on. But to me, that's just like a cop out, that you deceive the audience into thinking you're witnessing the real character. Yeah. And then it's just like a fake, and then the one that you thought was, and then when the real one comes, it's going to be kind of like a letdown, I think, because you've already seen someone you thought was the real thing. So no, I think that's a cop out. I would prefer MechaGodzilla be like a Pacific Rim Jaeger kind of thing, that someone had the.
But also, it wouldn't make any sense if if we go down that route, right? Which people are thinking, and we clearly know that Dr. Serizawa's son is the guy who's working with MechaGodzilla, right? We know that it's from the trailer. You can pretty much establish that that's there anyway. It looks to be the case. Why would he be killing people?
That's the thing, because again, then it's a matter of like who is the one behind it, who's controlling the thing. So,
but I mean, if the trailer's
kind of
influence, to be believed, then
but the trailer is a misdirect. It's meant to give us enough to speculate on. I have to congratulate the people doing the trailer because they nailed it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, it was great. And thank you so much, Mr. Dorks, for the £2. Thank you, everyone, for the super chats coming in. Really appreciate that, guys. If you want your question answered, and as a discussion, whilst we're kind of going through this today, drop in a super chat. We will get to them. I just need to actually scroll right back up briefly. We've got a brand new channel member, Jedi6. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that, dude. I do actually have members open now. So if you want to become a channel member, please do. Always appreciate it. It helps the channel out, to be fair. And just scrolling back down here. Was this a super sticker, or was this just a super chat? Guaca Flame. Well, thank you so much.
It's a super chat with nothing further. So a donation.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Oh no, he's got a comment.
Where?
It's looking at it on my phone. He goes, "I've been seeing people complain about the trailer, saying it's one-sided, but honestly, Legendary has to show Kong's capable of fighting Godzilla."
Well, this is to appeal to the American audience. Make no mistake, so Godzilla versus Kong will have Godzilla fans anyway, right? They're going to watch it. Yes, you'll have the people that are bitching and moaning, saying, "Well, they didn't release the trailer quick enough. Blah blah blah. I'm gonna pirate it and jerk off in my basement." But the people, they've got Godzilla fans' money anyway. This is to appeal to the wider audience. So they want to appeal to the American audience, which predominantly really like Kong. So that's why. I think that's why, to be fair. Marla for £5 says, "What are you planning to do on release day?" Watch it, maybe then do a watch along as well. Review, something like that, to be fair. I've never done a watch along. We'll have to see really in what sort of format I'm able to watch it in. Again, maybe the theaters will be open. If they're open, then I'll just go and watch it, obviously, and then do a review, I guess. Maybe do a live stream as well to talk about it all. Do like a live stream hangout to sort of, with people that have watched it as maybe a spoiler discussion, I guess. I think that I tell you what. Didn't it feel like an event film? Didn't it feel like an event? Did to me anyway. Made it feel like an event film was back finally. So good. Gino X 1987 says, "What did you think of Godzilla 2000? First Japanese G movie I ever saw in theaters. I think it's underrated with a unique monster that felt truly alien." Godzilla 2000. I have to remind my bloody memory of that.
I don't think I've seen it.
Let me have a look. Godzilla 2000, blah, blah, blah.
It's one of the Millennium movies, isn't it? The Millennium era of Toho movies.
I'm trying to. Who was the monster then? Let me have a look. Because I've done a lot of the monsters. Was it?
I think there were multiple of them because, like, many of those, like each and every one of the movies in the Millennium series was like a remake of the one preceding it.
Was it Augur? I think it might have been Augur. Yeah, no, Augur's a great creature. Augur's awesome. If that's what it. Yeah, no, I've done a video on that. I didn't think it was bad at all. I quite enjoyed it, and I like Augur. Augur's awesome, like really, really, really cool. Very, very unique. Good. Very, very good actually. I'm scrolling way too far down for this. Hold on one second. And Guaca Flame. Oh yeah, so this is the one that you said, isn't it? So I've been seeing people complain about the trailer saying it's one-sided, but honestly, Legendary has to show Kong's capable of fighting Godzilla. Like 100%. You are right, and like I said, it has to appeal to the American audience as well, which clearly it has. 20 million views. Fuck me, I can't overstate how amazing that is in a day.
And trending on Twitter around the world as well.
Like, yes, massive.
It's really impressive. There's no other way to put it.
Yeah,
especially a month out.
Yeah, I don't think that any of the previous movies in the franchise did anything of the sort.
So, I'll show you that in a minute. Some of them have done really well numbers-wise, actually. Finbar White for £5 says, enjoying the round table. How much will HBO Max not being available everywhere affect the numbers, like the ET moment between Kong and the girl? So that's the thing, guys. What do you think? Do you think it will affect the numbers that much, Andre?
Well, here's the thing, though. When you say numbers, because the traditional numbers don't really... I think that's what's going to affect the numbers more than anything else is the fact that most theaters are closed. That's the big thing. And where they're open, you're still going to have people that are afraid of going out to actually go and see the movie in theaters. That, more than anything else, I think is going to affect the numbers more than any HBO Max thing. So really, like, the theatrical release here, that's like a contractual commitment, and any money they can get from it is a bonus. So like the numbers here, we can kind of like disregard, because the only thing that it can be is successful given all the limitations of the current era we're living in right now. It's being a hit by any conventional standard is simply not on the table. So never mind the numbers. Like, Warner has already basically said the moment that they went out and they decreed that every single movie in the 2021 lineup is going to be a simultaneous theatrical and HBO Max release. They said that they don't care about the numbers. They've written off the numbers.
Yeah, true.
So it doesn't really matter.
I think Legendary will see this as, and Toho as well. Toho were happy with them anyway, so I think this will be good for the future. Hopefully. I want it to continue.
Well,
so bad. Richard Rodriguez for $5 says, "Yeah, Kong didn't look like an underdog. No, he did not. Not at all. He looked like a boss, to be fair. And I think as well they did. They showed him to be, very capable, absolutely capable, and sort of justifiably so, I guess, if they can figure out the way that he grew. Although they've still said that was due to radiation, but whatever, who knows? So the monster was Augur, the spaceship. Yeah, so it was like this spaceship monster thing. Super cool. I thought so. Why was Kong on a cargo ship, then an aircraft carrier? Because I think, and I spoke with some patrons just before this call, I think Kong obliterates the cargo ship and then he jumps onto the aircraft carrier because he looks like, he's it makes sense. Like when Godzilla comes out the ocean, when Kong beats down on the side when he's chained up, the ship flips. It does. Maybe it capsizes. And also, if you noticed as well, the little girl is not in the rest of the trailer. Maybe Godzilla flipped that cargo ship, accidentally killed the little girl, pissed Kong off, and that's why he's so enraged.
Maybe that's why he had the concerned
Anyone think
face.
about that?
Maybe that's why he had the concerned face. I was going to say, are there two main characters? Like, obviously, we have, I think, Skarsgård. Stellan Skarsgård, is it?
Yes.
I don't know.
Yeah. No, it's Alexander Skarsgård. It's his son.
Isaac Gonzalez. And then are they on different ships to Kong? Because there's some points in the trailer where they're interacting with him.
Yeah, some of them are like odd. Isaac Gonzalez is looking at one on another. Yeah.
So, like, there's one, obviously, that gets attacked by Godzilla, and then the one with Kong on gets attacked and then gets blown up from the atomic blast from the bottom. And then maybe that's why he was concerned, because the little Iwi girl died.
Well, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah. And I think she is Iwi because she's got the tattoos as well, all the paintings on her wrist.
She's pretty clearly Iwi. Yeah. I did a video today where I think that the end of Godzilla King of the Monsters explains that basically all the Titans were heading out to Skull Island. Maybe they have a bond because Kong, I don't know, not but couldn't protect the Iwi, and they all died from other Titans. And then that's the last one, maybe. Because otherwise, why is she an orphan? How's she an orphan? Anyone? Any other thoughts?
No. I think that's why maybe her city's under attack and she comes out with the little toy. I don't know. I'm just theorizing. But Andre, just on your point on numbers, I just want to bring something up. You know how you were talking about at the start of the stream where you're saying it depends how many subscribers it brings. It's a possibility that many people will sign up to watch the Justice League, so they'll possibly stay on. So maybe the numbers could be skewed with that. Like, it won't bring many new subscribers the week after, but many of them will stay on because of the Justice League. And obviously, it's like a monthly subscription, I think. So it's only a week after.
Yeah, and that's the entire purpose why they're going to have these staggered releases. And yeah, obviously, there's many people sign up for Justice League, and then they're going to stay there for like for the month before, and also you're going to have like leftovers from previous months who are still there, because again, that's why they're doing this. They want to have like something new every single month to for one thing get people, but also to keep them subscribed. So even the people that subscribed for Wonder Woman 84, they may have regretted their decision, but they see, okay, here's the Snyder Cut, there's that coming. So we're just going to keep it and stay on. So that's like the thing. So it's like two things. One is that they have to retain the people that have already subscribed in the months before, plus they want to attract new people. And I think that this movie has a good chance of doing that, because it's going to retain the people that were already there. But I think that in the days just prior, and especially on the day of release, I think they're going to see a huge influx of new subscribers, because their intention is to take HBO Max over the course of this whole year. They want to make HBO Max a contender. Not one movie is going to do that, but it's the release of the entire year. That's the purpose here. So if this movie is able to retain what came before and give them a huge spike in new people in, and then it's up to the next movies to keep those subscribers. But I think that this movie will do its job of what they expect of it.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Birdboy82, thank you so much. Says, hi, Mr. H. I think that this movie will be visually stunning. Choice of music was good, in my opinion. Both 2001 Space Odyssey and Here We Go. Legendary done the CG on monsters very well. Some shots looks like paintings. I think the CG was really, really well done. Really, really well done, actually. I was very, very impressed with the CG. I mean, but then I've not looked at any of those Godzilla movies and gone, oh, the CG's garbage. Like I've enjoyed the CG on all of them, but I do think that they've upped their game on this one particularly. I don't know if you guys thought that at all, but I really did feel like it was very, very well done. I thought that I didn't like the musical choice. That rap song can go piss in a corner.
Yeah, I did like the choice of 2001 music though. It like fits the theme because they've done that for all the Godzilla trailers. So kind of like fit with. Of course, it took me out a little bit, but it's like that's like nice tradition almost to use the 2001 music for Godzilla.
What about the CG guys? What do you think of that?
Brilliant, really good from what we can see. I agree with you completely. Really, really good. They come a long way from the King Kong movie in 2005.
Well, I think they're also learning as well, right? Like, think of all the complaints from 2014, right? 2014 Godzilla came out. We didn't see enough of him. All right. So they Kong Skull Island came out. Kong's there in all of his glory. We see much, much more. Godzilla King of the Monsters came out. People were like, oh, sort of in darkness, but there's more monster fighting. Great, awesome. Much more monster fights. And now this trailer comes out, boom, broad daylight. Monster fighting in broad daylight. Like, they do listen. And this goes back to the Sonic the Hedgehog situation. When a studio listens and people take stock of the fact that they're listening, they'll be successful. And I really do hope that Legendary is successful with this, because I think it deserves. I mean, obviously I don't know, I haven't seen it, but I think judging by the trailer, it deserves it. Like, it looks like a great trailer. It looks like a good film. It sold me on the trailer. So I have to see how it goes. But I like the fact that they listen, and I think studios that listen deserve a bloody good pat on the back.
I agree completely. So I hope it hit for them relative to the situation.
Yeah, but also as well, like, it really does go to show why they were going to take HBO or AT&T to bloody court. Warner Media, but like, no, what the fuck are you doing? This is going to be a success. This is great. Like, we've got faith in this. You can see why. 20 million views. That's madness.
I think that the people in Legendary are probably fuming at this right now.
Yeah,
because they're going to be thinking. Well, I think they're of two minds. One is like, in a normal situation, this could have been $1 billion movie with this kind of like, if all had clicked, it could have been. Yeah. But again, that normal situation that doesn't exist now, and it's not going to be a market for that.
But they could have made a lot of profit
ever again. Yeah,
I still think they could have made a lot of profit.
I don't know. I don't know that they could. I don't know that they can. They could push it back 6 months, and I don't think it would help a bit.
Yeah.
So this probably is just as well as anything.
So this is an interesting question. It actually goes into a lot of people that have been dropping it in the chat. I have seen it in the chat here. So Sean Conwell for $5 says, more MonsterVerse films after this question mark. And then obviously goes on to say some bits and pieces, which we'll talk about in a second. But this is the thing. A lot of people are like, do the rights not revert back? Toho have been adamant that they're very happy with the progress. They are very, very happy with what Legendary have been doing. And to them, it's free advertising. They are allowed to make their own movies if they want. They are choosing not to. But whilst they're waiting, Legendary is building the brand for them free of charge. In fact, is paying them.
And it's paying them significantly. They're earning more in license fees than they could have on their own movies.
Yeah, a lot of money. So what they're doing here is very smart. Legendary builds the brand for them in the Western market. Toho sits back. If they want to make a film, they can when they feel the time is right. But it's a no-brainer. They're getting money. The brand is being nurtured, because they get final say on everything, because the Legendary guys have to consult with Toho, and Toho have to sign it all off. That's a part of the deal, which we know. Well, we knew anyway, but we knew especially from King of the Monsters, because Mothra. There was a scene where Mothra was going to kill someone, but Toho vetoed it and said no, Mothra doesn't kill people. So Toho gets final say, and they're getting the brand and they're getting money for it. It's great. So I don't think that the rights are going to stop unless Legendary choose to stop them. It's got to be a Legendary side of things. But again, any other thoughts on that? Do you sense that it's not going to happen, or do you have any other input?
As for me, I think that there's going to be more monster movies. Yeah, absolutely. Because again, all that has to happen is the same with everything else. I don't think that there's going to be anything that's like structured for the box office that's going to have the same kind of budget behind it that this does. But what I do think is going to happen is that they're going to see that, okay, this movie, like every other movie that is here right now, is a money loser, because there's just no way that they can make back the money spent on it in this environment without the proper theatrical release. Simply can't be done. But they've already consigned it to a loss leader. What I think they will see is that here there is interest and demand for a sequel, given that the movie is a hit, of course, and people respond to it. Then they're going to see that here there is demand for more. So we're going to scale back the budget. We're going to use the Mando technology, and we're going to make a lower sequel that way. And with the Mando technology, you can do something that looks pretty much as expensive as this, but at a fraction of the price. And that way you can continue the franchise, if not in movies, then in miniseries. I absolutely see that happening.
Yeah, I can see that happening. And in terms of like, Sean Conwell's suggestion here, a Mothra standalone finale endgame style film. Yeah, I mean, they could do, destroy all monsters sort of situation. You could do lots with this, and I think the possibilities are endless. That's the beauty of this world. The possibilities genuinely are endless. To be fair, I mean the franchise has continued for so bloody long for that reason. So yeah, I'm all for it. I'm all for it.
I mean, keep going.
No, please.
As Andre pointed out, the interest is there. Like the interest is 100% there. Look at the trailer views. Look at the interaction on Twitter after trending. I remember watching the roundtable last week with you and Tom was talking about merchandise sales as well. The toys.
Oh, they're huge.
And he was saying they never go down to clearance price because they're just selling and they keep them at the normal standard price.
Exactly.
So
that's the thing as well, right? Like the licensing is massive. They've been selling so many comics.
The art comic books as well, the making of the movie artworks as well.
Yeah.
The Godzilla vs Kong one's on pre-order now as well.
Yeah, there's so much stuff that they do that not like normies perhaps don't notice, because they're not in it so much, but they do a lot for this franchise that I think a lot of people will be surprised at when they actually look into it. The guys that are just tuning in here, please do smash the thumbs up button. We got like 730 odd people watching, so please do give the video a like. If you're new here, I actually live stream every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, but because it's Godzilla vs Kong, maybe you've got a notification and you don't really know what this is. This is something I do every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I live stream with a topic and some guests, and we discuss stuff and kind of shoot the breeze. So that is every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 9 p.m. GMT, and that's 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So just take stock of that if you've wandered in here and you didn't know what was going on. It's important to drop in and say that. Azrael Razor says, is the CG better just because they had an extra year to fiddle with it? Aha. Well, that's an interesting...
The film was ready to release last March. So
I don't think that's the case. I mean, there was rumors that they went back and changed stuff to cut things out of the story, but I don't think it's because of that. I mean, maybe, but they're not going to, because that would inflate the budget, and if they knew it was being delayed. Andre, thoughts?
I think it might be a little bit better for one reason only. They will have had more time to simply render it. That's time because so they don't have to do anything more in terms of design or anything like that. But the supercomputers that they have to render, they can say, okay, instead of having to do this scene in now 36 hours, you can have 72 hours because we have that much longer until the movie is out.
True.
And that is one way where they actually can get better quality without having to put in any more man hours, just more computer hours, and they cost less. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a... Yeah,
because usually you can't really do that because you have a fixed release date, but in this case, when it was pushed back, just in terms of more computing hours, you can put that in. And here's like the thing: normally you couldn't, because those computers and those computing hours, they would be reserved for the next project. But as it is right now, you have had so many next projects that didn't come because shooting stopped, or they were cancelled altogether. So I think that the computers that they had rendering, they were probably free afterwards. They could just put more time in there. So yes, I think that CGI is going to be better rendered, and it'll be better for that very reason than it otherwise would.
True. Another super chat here from Comrade Commissar Yuri. Thank you so much for jumping on, dude. How the tribe could have died and common illness by the team from Kong or team sent after. That's true. Yeah, true. I think that'd be a bit of a cop-out, killing the iwi from an illness, though, in fairness. And I think that some companies will avoid doing that now due to the pandemic. Thoughts, though, guys?
I think that would have been one of the things they would have changed, if anything.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I just can't see them doing that in the current climate. But let's talk about the actual trailer specifically here. I want to talk about this thing. This weird Godzilla thing in the ground. Which, funnily enough, if you're looking at this image here, almost looks to be a crystallized Godzilla sort of effigy in the ground, surrounding a monolith structure going down towards it. Can we all see that? Does that all kind of make sense? What do you think that is? Because he's standing on the head there. To me, it looks like it looks to be in the Hollow Earth. But this monolith structure is interesting with the crystallized sort of Godzilla effigy there. What do you think? It's not Godzilla, is it? Let's be honest.
Yeah. I have absolutely no clue. I don't know the franchise well enough to be able to make any guesses, so I defer to your expertise on this one. Yours, and of course you guys in the comments.
Well, yeah, this is... Yeah, well, we'll have a look. Look, we got David Torrado says an ancient drawing made from radiation. Well, but yeah, potentially. A Godzilla, was it Godzilla Prophecy? Where is it? These bloody chats moving so quick. Thank you so much, though, obviously. Godzilla Prophecy engraved. Yeah. It's definitely an engraving, isn't it? And I think what's the interesting part of it, for me anyway, is the whole thing that it's centered around this sort of monolith structure that goes down towards it. What are you hoping for with respect to the... what are you hoping to with this, with the backstory and the opening of the universe? What do you think? Because obviously they're fleshing out the Hollow Earth. There's sort of a pun in there somewhere. What do you think?
I hope that they go deep on it, because to me that's actually what I'm most fascinated with. Yeah, because my favorite part of the previous movie, honestly, was the end titles, in which we actually learned a little bit about the mythology in the censored end title screen that you could only read when you paused and freeze framed and everything. That had my interest, so I hope they go deep on that.
Like this stuff, you mean?
Well, yeah, that too, but exactly, that thing, stuff like that. That's not just the new Titans, but what is hidden in the Hollow Earth. That's a cool concept.
Well, I think that's definitely what they seem to be doing with this anyway. So someone says it could be Dagon. No, because that's actually confirmed to be the body in the Philippines that the Muto the Muto came out of. That is Dagon's skeleton. That was confirmed in the Godzilla Aftershock. I think it was the Godzilla Aftershock novel. This is the thing; they flesh out the universe in all of these comics and stuff so well. They really do care about it. We've got a new member, Dodo. Interesting. Thank you so much for becoming a member. Appreciate it. Thank you. It's some device that makes Hollow Earth inhabitable. Terraform. That's an interesting theory. That's a really interesting theory. Because we've not seen the Hollow Earth properly yet, have we? I mean, we saw Godzilla's particular, domain where people used to worship to him, and he used to sit there and obviously, feed off the radiation. And he had to get to it through, through subterranean channels, but they were submerged. The structure that we've seen here is very much not submerged. And then as well, like the other images of Godzilla and Kong out in the open with the axe and the sort of handprint and stuff like that in the Hollow Earth, looks to be very much in a location which would be, I guess, immediately under Skull Island to a certain degree. What do you think?
Well, there are human ships there. Didn't you say those vehicles?
Yeah, so they're called the HEAV, the Hollow Earth Anti-Gravity Vehicles. That's what they're called anyway.
Because there's an entire sequence in the trailer, and it goes again to the testament with their CGI improvement. They're just showing a lot in broad daylight as well. In the Hollow Earth, when he's just slamming the bats against each other, the wall.
Oh, the wall bats. Isn't that such a good scene?
And then he touches his hand on the wall as well. So I think that's all in the Hollow Earth as well. And I think it could be the start of the movie, maybe, or possibly the end. Kong might go back to Skull Island.
Yeah, well, so it's interesting because a lot of people, like, he looks different in each part of the trailer. So, I mean, here, and this is Kong, like, he's got the same markings as Kong. So this is definitely Kong.
He looks amazing.
But he's got that beard, but then, so it looks like there's sort of two different parts, two different timelines, so to speak, running in this film. A dorsal plate on a bone. I mean, how cool is that as an axe?
That's really cool. You know what that reminds me of? That reminds me of The Incredible Hulk, the movie from 2008, the second movie in the MCU. Because in the fight of the Hulk versus the Abomination, who is bigger and stronger and tougher than the Hulk. But he's able to find one weapon that he can use against him because he has like these spikes protruding from his bones. And Hulk is able to latch onto one of these spikes and tear it out with the entire bone, and then use that to stab him. That works really well. This is kind of like that thing. Like you've seen, like Godzilla, he can take a nuclear blast at close range.
Well, you take the oxygen destroyer, can't he? I mean,
exactly. All of those things. But so he's like close to indestructible from the outside. But use something that he's made from against him. That's probably going to be efficient.
And it looks here. So a lot of people are like, well, like Ellie says, the initial teaser, it looked like Godzilla was blasting it and aiming it at the axe, but side on sort of thing, so he could then turn it onto someone else. But it looks like, and one of the theories that is being tossed around is that the atomic breath, because this is how he channels the radiation out into the atomic breath through his dorsal plates. It looks like the dorsal plate that Kong has also draws the atomic breath towards it to store it. It's radiation, isn't it? So if it functions in the same way, I mean, that makes sense.
That would be a really, really good way for Kong to keep his limbs intact, because we've seen what that atomic breath can do to other kaijus in these movies.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, it just, blasted it down,
completely destroyed them.
Mouth, didn't it? Yeah.
Exactly.
GenoX 1987, thank you so much. Says, imagine seeing the 98 Zilla and Shin Godzilla show up in a sequel, theme being offshoot cousins of Godzilla's race. What do you think, seeing them back? I wouldn't mind something like that, like an offshoot cousin. I mean, it'd be a bit odd for this universe, in fairness, but I don't hate it. I wouldn't hate it. I don't know whether Shin Godzilla would work, but still, More giant monsters, the merrier. In my head, I don't know about you guys.
I wouldn't like it, honestly, because as you said, for this universe, it's like finding like those Millennium movies where they kind of like took the piss out of the American Godzilla remake. It's like fine for that because that whole movie was kind of like a joke anyway, wasn't it? But this is something that tries to be serious. Like the moment that you put that in there, you kind of like make the movie a little bit of a parody. You take the audience out of it because that's like breaking the fourth wall a little bit too much because it'll stick out like a sore thumb. So then you kind of like have to. It would be great in a parody movie, but not in like a proper canony one. So I wouldn't, or a proper canon one. I meant to say. So I would not like that, not one bit.
True. Yeah, true. I thought I'd pull up this image here as well and sort of discuss this a little bit. Because this one's like what? So where is he? Like, where is he in this location? This is Dr. Serizawa's son. And one thing I noticed in terms of like what's on the screen here, obviously, you know, something systems, presumably maximum charge or minimum charge, either or, obviously. This is MechaGodzilla. Do you think he could be inside MechaGodzilla? Because if you look at the door behind him to the right of the image, it's not a normal door, is it? It does look like I don't know, like some sort of futuristic sci-fi-ish door. What do you think?
I would imagine it's a control room and he's not in it at all. Of course, he could be in it, but that would be really stupid. I would.
Yeah.
You know what I think is in it? Again, this is just me. This is just me guessing here. I'm probably wrong. But I don't want to spoil anything. But there's like an end credit scene in Godzilla King of Monsters, where they get like one of the severed heads of
Ghidorah.
Thank you. That they maybe built MechaGodzilla around that and uses that brain or something to power it, or maybe MechaGhidorah will show up as well at some point.
See, you can't. I couldn't have that. I don't think you can't have a MechaGodzilla and MechaGhidorah in one film. I think that'd be a bit OT. You know,
probably
it
would. So probably it won't happen. But anyway, that would be.
So what do you think about what's on this screen here? Like, it looks to me, if you look at underneath the sort of schematics of MechaGodzilla, there's almost like a wave file. You know, could this be a sort of maybe Orca technology,
Orca transmission or something? I don't know.
Yeah, could be. Could be.
I wonder what the red stuff is within the body, like, because there's sort of outlines of red.
Well, maybe that goes to Andre's thoughts that maybe King Ghidorah's head is inside it. Maybe something like that is going on there. They've sort of fused it to it. Who knows?
That they used like the brain kind of like that you would RoboCop, because there you already have something with a nervous system and everything to control that huge body.
Yeah, true. That is the possibility, isn't it? I don't know whether I'd like that or not. I don't know. But as well, like, I always go back to like what's his motivation? You know, what's his motivation behind it? Because you'd think that he would. Well, I mean, we don't know about his. We've not really heard about his son until now. We've now seen his son. Is he annoyed that his dad, I don't know, spent his life chasing monsters? I don't know. What would be the motivation specifically? What do you think?
I was possibly thinking maybe, I don't know if Charles Dance's character is in this film. Maybe there's something behind that. Maybe they can take control.
Apparently he's not. He's not.
Okay.
Apparently, but who knows?
I wouldn't be surprised if he like shows up in a surprise cameo or something. Or
I mean, I'd love to see him. He's a great actor.
I'd actually be more surprised if he didn't show up than if he did. But that's just me.
I read it. There has to be a feasible motive, just something like that you would do to has to be like a feasible reason that you would release this like the monster of destruction upon a city and just destroy it.
Yeah, well, but that's
what
to
I'm
say
hoping the
that
film
that's to
explains.
say that MechaGodzilla is destroying the city. I mean, we see from this image that, I mean, clearly he is destroying the city, but maybe it's been commandeered away from Serizawa's son, I guess. I don't know. It's
And
tricky.
I think just to add further credence that it is MechaGodzilla, again, you see the red outline.
Well, even the spines
well.
coming out on the side. Look, I mean, it's clearly is MechaGodzilla. I mean, I love the fact that it's there, because it's a case of if you know, like it's. I love the fact that they've put that in there. I think it's epic.
Yes.
I don't think that's much of a spoiler, to be honest.
No, I agree. That's it's there. It's there in plain sight, and if you don't see it, then of course that's fair that you don't see it. But that doesn't make it any less of a spoiler.
Yeah. GenoX 1987 says there is a unique kaiju among Godzilla fans called Red. Comes from a famous creepypasta story. Very much worth your time. I've never heard of that. I'm gonna have to check that out. Thank you. I will check it out. If you know the creepypasta, send it to me. misstatereviews@gmail.com. I'd be all game to see some more sort of Titan kaiju bizzo running around. What do we think about? We sort of already covered this, but this goes back to the CG as well, because I think this displayed it really well. Like, I think this is great CG. I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
But this concerned look, and he's wet. I think this is, but he doesn't have the collar on. I'm trying to think of where this is.
I think this is after Godzilla blasts his atomic breath through the ship, and he jumps in the water, then gets on the aircraft carrier, maybe with the main characters on it, and he looks concerned because he's lost the Iwi girl or something like that. Or
True.
Godzilla is fleeing and towards a city, maybe, and he's concerned. I don't know.
Well, if they're on the water, there's no reason why Godzilla should be fleeing. I mean, Kong can't move very, very far away from the ships, can he? Because he'd just be swimming. In fact, he had better hope that Godzilla doesn't sink those ships.
My theory is the reason Godzilla may get away is we see in the trailer they're dropping bombs into the water. I know they oxygen destroyers, and we've seen what one did to Godzilla before in King of the Monsters, and maybe he's like, I don't want that again, so he flees. Because does it look like oxygen destroyers going into the water? Those little bombs.
I don't know.
That's what I think, because we saw what one did to Godzilla. It basically put him out of commission in King of the Monsters, and they said it would take years for him to recover if it wasn't.
Well, yeah, because he had to go. He had to go. Yeah. Well, he had to go to the Hollow Earth to recover, and then that's why Serizawa sacrificed himself.
Because as Andre was saying,
very reason.
Andre was saying, like, there's no reason for Godzilla to leave if he's got him around the water, and then possibly something to do with the oxygen destroyers, maybe.
Yeah, that has to be, because something has to be able to shift the tides. That's what I'm thinking. There has to be oxygen destroyers or something, because if not, from my perspective, the movie should end right there. That's Godzilla's turf. He has absolutely no problem being in the water. He can stay in the water for years. Whereas Godzilla, he's a mammal. He can probably hold his breath for a few minutes, but you dump him in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean or something, he's going to be in trouble with no other kaijus around him, because then he has to stay floating for who the hell knows how many months until he's able to get to some kind of shore. So Kong is in trouble here unless he has something to turn the tides.
I don't think these are oxygen destroyers looking at them.
Has to be something else, though. So I
know what you mean. I'm on board with what you're saying. I just looking at these, I'm like, well, I mean, it's not. If maybe they're mini oxygen destroyers, I guess, but it's not the oxygen destroyer, is it? Like, it's definitely not the same. Like it's quite different comparatively.
Because we saw Godzilla would want, like, his dorsal plates completely obliterate one ship. So what's stopping him from doing it to the others and just leaving Kong completely stranded in the water?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because then the fight is over right there. And like, if Godzilla doesn't want any other kaijus around that don't submit to him, and Kong doesn't submit, why would he leave him around? Like, just end all the ships and let Kong drown. Simple as that. He's gonna drown. I mean, the ocean is deeper than he is tall.
Yeah, well, yeah, no, absolutely. And we, even in that clip, you can see how deep it is because we see Godzilla flex his tail all the way down before unleashing the atomic breath upwards. So we know how deep it is. Like it's, well, very, very deep at that point. They're nowhere near the shore. If both clips are linked anyway. Because remember that could be the case that they're not. But maybe these are like mini oxygen destroyers, I guess. Who knows? We'll just get to the chat now real quick. Just missed some of these super chats as well. Benjamin Yang says, unrelated, but this year I'm also excited to see Lupin the Third, the First. It looks amazing. I've not even heard of that. I'm going to have to Google that, my dude. But thank you so much. Again, link me on Twitter, Mr. H Reviews, the same name that I apparently don't have here yet. Where's my name? There we go. My name on here. Check it out. Link me on Twitter. We got Sean Conwell jumps on again for $5. Says Mecha G, powered by Ghidorah head, but framed from Godzilla skeleton in 2014. Goji after Apex. For both remains, they need Kong as protection. It may be. I mean, this is the thing. There are a lot of reasons. Again, I really hate it in series of TV or movie where the characters in the world forget about their own experiences. When Millie Bobby Brown's like, oh my God, Godzilla's going mental. There must be another reason. It's like, yeah, love. Maybe the orca. Did you think about that? Yeah. Like, maybe it's orca technology. Like, seriously? Come on.
I'm really not keen on her part for the film.
Obviously, she seems like she's included for fan service, but no one's a fan of her. So I don't really see the point.
Obviously, there's two factions of humans in the film. We have the side with Kong, and then we have the side Millie Bobby Brown, obviously,
Godzilla,
King of the Monsters. But they're also introducing Julian Dennison from Hunt for the Wilder People and Deadpool 2. So hopefully he's not too annoying in the film, and we just have two.
Well, he is a bit. That's his character, isn't it?
Yeah, and it does seem a bit goofy when they're interrogating the other man, just like, oh, I know.
Yeah,
something's saying something. I'm just like,
Brian Tyree Henry's character.
Hopefully that doesn't detract too much from the film because I'm not keen on that bit. I wasn't a fan of her in King of the Monsters. So,
yeah, I mean, it was a bit of a nothing burger. The whole her being included. I mean, it was fine. Like, it's not. I stand by the film. I like that film, but again, would I have changed her out and adjusted the characters? Like, yeah, like of course, 100%. So, yeah, I get what you're saying. Jack jumps on and says, "Fun speculation. Wonder if Warner Brothers Monsterverse, Legendary's Monsterverse." Warner Brothers only distribute it. Legendary make it. Warner Brothers Monsterverse could merge and become a part of the DCEU. Definitely not. Toho would never allow. But again, you are saying fun speculation. Hollow Earth could be a gateway to Aquaman Hollow Earth. Yeah, that would work, to be honest, if you are mashing them together. Could Warner Brothers be crazy enough to pull off such a thing? Thoughts? Well, they won't ever be allowed because Toho would never, ever allow that. I don't think so anyway. Yeah. Do you guys think that? I don't think Toho would ever allow that, just due to how tight they are on it all.
I think if the paycheck is big enough, there's a way, but I honestly don't think that if it could be done for cheap, then AT&T would probably be open to doing it. However, that would involve mixing so many creative teams, so many rights. There would be so many legalities and practicalities and so much to sort out with how much screen time each character is going to get. I'll give you one example. In the movie Roger Rabbit, you have Daffy Duck and Donald Duck appearing on screen at the same time, and being able to clear those from Warner and Disney was such a pain in the ass that they are on screen at the same time the whole time, because one could not be on the screen for 1 second more than the other. Otherwise, the one with less screen time would basically back out of the thing. And that's the reason why they are all in frame at the same time. And that's just one example for those two characters. Merging the whole thing with DC, and no, it would be a legal nightmare.
But
the
also,
lawyers would love it, but no, I don't. There's any. It's fun speculation, but in practical terms, there's no way it would be able to happen. And also with Toho, you'd have to bribe them with such a fortune for them to be able to sell out that way.
But it's not. It's simplistically as well. It's Legendary that holds the rights, not Warner Brothers.
Yeah, this is true. It's Legendary. So, but that's what I mean. There would be so many partners that would have to sign off on it.
Yeah.
So the ones to initiate it would be AT&T, who own Warner, but still, so many would have to sign up on it. Would be a legal quagmire, the likes of which cannot even be described.
Well, it'd be a Superman's lip situation, wouldn't it? I guess
it would be worse.
Battling it out with what was it? Paramount, I think. Was it Paramount for the Mission Impossible thing? No, you can't do this. No, we must do this. No, you can't. Fucking unbelievable. Dead Man in Black. Someone suggested Dagon's bones were used in the new MechaGodzilla, like that of from Godzilla. MechaGodzilla, basically, from Godzilla against MechaGodzilla. His eyes turned red when the Godzilla spirit took over, went out of control. I don't think they'll do that. I don't think they'll go down that road. I think, but you know what though, it does make sense almost that they would use something like that in universe, because no metal is going to be stronger than a Godzilla's bones, are they? So I'm in two minds to say like, oh well, that's super dumb. Why would they do that? But then if they're going to the lengths of making a giant bloody Godzilla, you'd be like, well, how am I going to strengthen it? Well, with a Godzilla's bones. I don't know. What do you guys think? I can see the logic of either way, to be honest.
Absolutely. I absolutely think that it's within the realms of possibility.
Yeah. I can see the homage. Like, as an homage, as an homage, it'd be good. I don't know. Would you like it, though? There's the question. So it's a possibility, but would you like it?
I would buy that explanation in Movieverse, that's like the foundational thing to strengthen the metal around, because you could say that we can't actually build anything that big with metal because of the square cube law, which would also prevent animals of this size to exist in nature, but they're obviously not made of the same stuff as other animals. So then that could be like the in-universe explanation that you get by the square cube law, because they're not made from the same thing. So machines that humans make, they have to abide by the square cube law, and the only way that you can build a MechaGodzilla is by using the skeleton as the foundation for it. I'd buy that.
Yeah, I mean, I can see it. Like, I can see the logic in universe. I don't know whether I'd be all game for it though, whether I'd like it or not. I'm kind of in two minds on that front, but I think it could work. I think it could too. Yeah,
I think it could too.
So again, guys, if you're new here, we're just chit-chatting about Godzilla versus Kong trailer, just shooting the breeze. If you got any questions, drop them in the chat. I'm just going to go through.
I just thought of a theory, and
go on then.
I love theorizing because I don't know. This trailer's got everyone talking. I don't know what the chat thinks.
Sock it to me, come on.
At the end of Godzilla, King of the Monsters, we have all these monsters bowing down to Godzilla. And we don't know what happens to them, their whereabouts, because in the trailer it says there was a war and they're the last two left. So clearly all those 17 Titans they mentioned in that movie have to die. So could they unleash MechaGodzilla to kill those Titans? Something drives them mad and they start destroying cities. It's like the Orca comes into play.
No, so I think what they're implying here is that the Godzilla and Kong species have had a war, like as in they've had a war for years before. So I don't think the other Titans are dead.
Yeah.
I don't think that's what it's saying. Besides that, we see them, don't we? We see the Warbats. No. I mean, it's worth it. I see what you're saying. But I think what's interesting about that is like it sort of goes against like what they. So if you've seen the Kong prequel sequel graphic novel that showed Kong's parents and how they died, and they had this sort of epic war with the skull crawlers and things like that, and I'm like, well, does that mean the skull crawlers are stronger than Godzilla's? Like, that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Because like if the Kongs had been warring with Godzilla's, then surely Kongs would wipe the floor with skull crawlers. They just
I have an explanation for that.
Go on. I'd love to hear that.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Just look at Godzilla in the previous movie and this one. His size has tripled.
Yeah.
Kong's size has tripled. The skull crawlers are probably really dangerous to the Kong species up until they reach a certain size. This is like the same thing with crocodiles and sharks and everything like that. Like, for instance, crocodiles, they have to spend the first few years of their lives hiding from everything and scavenging because they are the chef recommends on the menu alongside the food that they eat until they're able to survive and reach a certain size. That could be the same thing with the Kong. You look at all the things that gave him a challenge. In the previous movie Skull Island, he would have wiped his butt with every last one of them his current size, but then he has to survive to get to his current size.
Yeah, true. Well, yeah, I mean, there's nothing to say that Kong's parents weren't young. You know, like
exactly.
There's no parents. Yeah, true.
They could be young parents that simply hadn't managed to lived long enough to get to the size where they actually could deal with whatever was thrown at them.
Yeah, that is true. I mean, they do sort of say, again, it's a graphic novel. It's dependent on how much they choose to take it as canon. Although they do say they're canon. Like, it does imply that was quite a long time ago, the event, which does throw into question how long Kong's been an adolescent for up until that point. So if you're looking at timelines, but yeah, I mean, I love the theory. I love the explanation, and it absolutely works. To be honest, like that
exactly, doesn't it? That would be why.
It really does, and it also explains why. You know, maybe at a certain point, the Kongs, you know, Skull Island is almost like in like an infant realm for Kongs, and then when they do reach maturity, they then go down into the Hollow Earth to live, because obviously they would outgrow Skull Island in sheer size, otherwise, wouldn't they? Let's be honest, they'd be fucking ginormous.
Well, now we're getting into like the suspend your disbelief theory, aren't we?
Well, they're giant. They're giant apes, mate, and giant.
That's
you know,
monsterverse as well.
I mean, suspension of disbelief is at an all-time high. We are like off the reservation on our disbelief.
Yeah, I know, but there's like degrees, and that's what I mean. That here is where you're gonna have to suspend some more.
I think that works.
There's a three-headed dragon growing back its head.
There's a living extinction event, you know. Fuck it up. Oh dear. A Gotham Knight, Patu, $1.99. I don't know what Patu is, but cheers. I don't know what that is. Thanks very much. But yeah, I mean, I think like the island being a bit of a sort of a nursery almost, and then Skull Island, you know, the Hollow Earth being where they actually live.
Yeah,
I think that would work. I think I like that explanation.
That was a great David Attenborough explanation from Andre.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's good. A lot of people are like, where did the other Titans go?
That's what I was saying before. But
Yeah, but I mean, we've seen Warbats. We've seen Warbats in the trailer, which look really cool. To be honest, like I wondered what they would end up looking like from because I mean the bloody toys of them look like garbage, but I think as they kind of swoop in. I'm just taking a screenshot of it now. As they swoop in, I think the Warbats look great.
Yeah.
I'm really happy with how they've turned out. So we got these Warbats swooping in, and it's a very unnerving way that this creature sort of flies in, because it doesn't look like it should be able to fly. It's moving like a snake as it flies. It's very, very unnerving. And then if you look up above, I mean, this is clearly the Hollow Earth, right? Because look at the sky. Look at like the ground mountains almost coming out of the ceiling. Like it's just, it's so cool. I think they've really gone to town on the Hollow Earth. I think they've nailed the Hollow Earth.
Cinematography and coloring is great as well. They're really going all out with it.
Oh yeah, like it is fantastic. Again, they've nailed it. I really like what they've done with the Hollow Earth. Like this, again, we're talking about cinematography and the coloring, right?
Yeah.
It's so vibrant, but
that's
still quite realistic with it. Like this here, it's so good. That's great.
Man, and again, has to be seen in the theater. Like, come on.
Yeah, I am really disappointed. I mean, I won't be able to see it in a theater, so it's incredibly unlikely. But that's a great shot. You know, like this. The sign of good cinematography is if you know, you just click on something and it could be a poster. You know.
Yes.
Like this could be a poster. This is great. This is absolutely brilliant. Yeah, so good. And they've kept everything, like even the chunk out of Kong's ear that he had in Skull Island. You know, like they've kept everything. So good, so good.
Also, the scarring in his hand from the helicopter appeared to be what we also saw there with the one shot where we saw his hand.
Which one was that? When he touches the stone?
No. It's like when we see him by the water, we see inside his hand, and we see like scarring. I think that's the scarring from the helicopter that he got in the Kong movie. I'm just guessing. I don't know. Could be way off, but.
Is that when it's the aircraft carrier is moving and he's
I don't. Yeah, I think so. But it was like a point there where we basically see his hand, and we see his hand is scarred, and I think that's from there. I think.
Yeah. Hold on. You are right, actually. I'm just getting the image for everyone. Yeah, but that's again, that goes to show Legendaries. You are completely right. I've just got it now. That's amazing. That is amazing for their sort of continuity, how they keep to it. That's great. Like you can see
it's amazing that you didn't notice that before.
Well, no, mate, I did a half-hour frame by frame fucking breakdown.
I know you did. That's why I was like amazed that I saw something that you didn't.
But this is why we do these round tables.
Yeah.
But again, this is why we do the round tables. That's great. Yeah, that's so good. Yeah, ultra. It's so good.
And that also is like a thing that goes to that I kind of like, because you see that like Godzilla, he is more vulnerable than King Kong is more vulnerable than Godzilla, because helicopter blades wouldn't have done jack shit to Godzilla and his scales, but they actually hurt a young Kong, and they would probably hurt him now too, because he's a mammal and he doesn't have like these scales. You see, like he uses King Kong's dorsal plate as a weapon against him, because there's nothing from his own body that can kind of like withstand it. So I think like in pure strength for strength and durability, Godzilla has Kong beat hands down. So he's going to have to think in order to beat him.
It's sort of ingenuity, I guess, isn't it?
Yeah, that would be my thought. Of course, I could be wrong, but just based on what we're seeing, it appears because of course they had to grow him crap ton just to get him to the same height. But even at the same height, even there, Godzilla has so much more mass.
Yeah, well, he's a bigger lump, isn't he? Much bigger lump. Again, we're talking about cinematography, right? Like this, what an epic shot could be a poster straight away. Brilliant. I think they've really nailed it on the cinematography for this, by the looks of things.
Yeah, and in that one you don't have any disgusting tertiary colors either, so works for me because I get so distracted by seeing the not in one scene. I really like the scene with all the neon. There, the tertiary colors are perfect, but other than that, like that off pink instead of red and something, that's something that I've never liked in movies, and this one has some of that. But this shot right here, that's a poster shot.
Yeah. Yeah, it's bloody brilliant.
And that's from the
we've got a theory here. So Dietrich for $5. Thanks so much. Mr. H, here's a theory to mum over. We may be seeing the onset and introduction of one of the many alien races in the G-verse connected to Jonah's group. Well, yeah, true. I mean, so that's the thing, isn't it? Is like how far are they going to go with this universe? Are they going to include like the zillions. I mean, there's a few alien races in fairness. But are they going to include that? Do you think that that's something that they're going to do? For me personally, I think it would be a step too far. I don't think they will. But I agree that there's the potential. The technology that we're seeing seems to be far and above anything that we could possibly do. And they've already introduced aliens, right? Because, I mean, King Ghidorah is an alien. So, I mean, I wouldn't put it past them. But what do you guys think? And would you like it as well? Remember, like, it's important. Would you like it? Is it a possibility? It's definitely a possibility.
I'm not
but would you like it?
With it too much, so I think Andre take it from here.
I think that it's absolutely a possibility because, as you say, we've already established Ghidorah as an alien. When you've already opened that door, then they probably wouldn't have opened it if they didn't intend to step a little bit further through it.
Yeah.
As for if I would have liked it, honestly, not so much. I mean, like this movie, there are so many asks here already.
Yeah.
Like how are you gonna do this? Are you gonna have like the aliens be apes behind like human masks or some bullcrap like that you had like in the weirdest of the Toho era movies and everything? No, that I would really prefer that you keep alien intelligence outside of it. Of course, it all depends on the execution, but to me now we're starting to get into too many asks. I mean, like in terms of technology. In terms of technology, we have some pretty advanced stuff, right? We have smartphones. We've split the atom. We can do nuclear bombs. Like something funny is like nuclear bombs. They're visible from space. They look just like a supernova and gamma ray burst because it's basically what you've done is you've harnessed the power of the sun. Humans did that, and we did it like more than it was a couple of humans did that, but still, it only goes to show exactly how far technology can go. That we have harnessed the power of the freaking sun.
Yeah.
So it's to me, it's a bigger ask with bringing in alien intelligence and flying saucers and stuff like that. Than that humans have this technology. That's something that I can accept. I mean, we've accepted some pretty weird stuff in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yeah, true. I think what I'd be more accepting of, right, is what if they said we found the first landing point of Ghidorah. We found where he landed all those, centuries ago, thousands years ago, and it turns out there was something left with him. Not an alien, but some form of, I don't know, technology of some description. I don't bloody know, something like that. I'd buy that a little bit more than I would actual aliens popping down and being like, hello,
Yeah, absolutely. Not
exactly like that, FYI, but
Yeah, but we catch the grip.
Oh my
How
lord!
did you? I was waking till 2:30 last night doing fucking Godzilla videos. I'm tired.
Or
Sister
some
Harrow,
aliens pop in and say, "Can we borrow this Godzilla of yours?"
can we just have that, please? Sister Harrow is Team Kong, and she said it. There you go. What team are you on, guys?
Respectfully disagree, Sister Harrow. Team Godzilla.
Oof. And Andre?
Team Kong.
Are you? I am Team
Kong.
Godzilla, I'm afraid.
Let's
I
go.
have to
But
I
I do
have
like
to
the way
be.
they're trying to humanize Kong. Like he's very emotive
Yeah.
in the trailer. I actually like want to.
The thing is, I'm Team Godzilla, but I
Kong
also
is
don't
like-
want Kong to lose. You know,
Yeah.
like I'm Team Godzilla, but I don't want Kong to lose because I like the
Well-
character and I like what they're doing with him.
They're really pushing the marketing ploy with one will fall. So
Yes.
we'll
Yeah.
see. Like
We'll see how
Yeah.
they fall.
yeah.
See how they fall. Jack's dropped in again and says, "What's the theory mythos around the Hollow Earth again? Where did they get the light source, heat, etc. from the center of the Earth?" Question mark. That's the thing, right? This, like all of this stuff here, is the first time we've actually seen the Hollow Earth. This is all new. We don't know. Like this was all a theory that they confirmed in King of the Monsters. So this is uncharted technology. Uncharted territory. You can tell I'm tired. Get my words muddled up. No idea. Absolutely no idea. But I again, that's part of why I'm really looking forward to this film is that they've just gone balls to the wall and gone, yeah, here you go. Here's the Hollow Earth. How's it going to work? Oh, we'll tell you later on. There you go.
They did flirt with it in King of the Monsters. I think with that scientist, the one with the glasses. I forgot his character name. He was saying it's just tunnels how they use to move around. That's how they move around so quick.
Yep.
So
that's how they get from one spot to another so quickly. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, they basically, they did. They confirmed it because when they went inside the Hollow Earth and they went to Godzilla's lair.
Godzilla went from like sort of I don't know where they were to
Antarctica. Yeah, like one part of the planet to another real quick. It's like I see
Antarctica. So it must be really quick, or there's something to go on it.
Yeah, well, there was all sort of channels and lanes, wasn't it? That was what it was. But yeah, I mean, explaining that the light source and things like that. Maybe Skull Island collapses. Who knows? Like God knows.
Where were they in the first Godzilla when they were in those tunnels and those caves in the 2014 one, and they had sort of the skin outline? Was that just a normal cave?
Oh, are you talking about in the Philippines when the Mutos there
hatched? There was no, it wasn't the Mutos where they hatched. There was like a certain segment where I think the doctors were in like hazmat suits and they were in tunnels and caves, and they saw the outline of, I think it was Godzilla's skin or something like that.
I don't think that was the Hollow Earth. I don't know. I don't know. But the Hollow Earth thing is going to be really interesting. I'm really, really, really looking forward to that. Like,
I agree completely. That's actually what has me almost the most excited. Is just that I really hope that they're going to go in and they're going to explore exactly what that is all about. I really hope they will, because to me that's like one of the most fascinating concept that there is there. For instance, a light source, because in my opinion, the one that did that the best as it is right now is a French anime series from the 80s. I believe you may have heard of it. I think the English title of that series was Spartacus and the Sun Beneath the Sea. And right there you have like a title of what they were doing. And it would be cool if they did something else, if there's like a whole other world within the world.
Yeah.
Which would have been could be really cool. So I hope that they're going to be something like that there.
Well, I tell you what, that makes me really massively look forward to the art and making of book, because they do some amazing ones for this series. Like I've got them down there, and they're amazing. They're so good. The stuff that you learn. Now, King of the Monsters one was good. It wasn't as good as the others that they've done. So I'll be looking forward to that. That'd be great. That'd be really good.
Andre, I didn't think about that Spartacus. I've never heard of it. I just straight away thought of Journey to the Center of the Earth.
Oh, it's a similar concept. That's the closest one. But again, in there, it was never like really explained.
Yes.
It was just like, are you in a cave? Where's the source of light? Like you just went down there, and then you went down in a volcano, and then it was kind of like explained, or then you just went with it. Whereas in this French animated series, which I highly recommend, there actually is then another sun that powers all the different strata within the Earth, and we are just the top layer, and then you have completely different other levels of heavy metal style craziness going on in the other strata between here and then that sun beneath the sea.
Well, maybe they'll be doing the core of the Earth then.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Because in one of the Godzilla graphic novels, they had Shuni Mori, I think was the Titan's name, and it was explaining how Godzilla sort of fed on the core of the Earth and things like this, and so maybe they'll go down that route as well. Maybe. Marshmallow dropped on and says we do have 3D printing, quantum mechanics, superconductors, nano pico technology.
I see, that's what I mean. Like,
yeah, true.
Most of humanity isn't. Like if you drop any one of us on a desolate planet and tell us to restart civilization, we're going to have trouble. But among humanity, there are a few geniuses that have been able to create all of those things, although the vast majority of us couldn't split an atom if our life depended on it.
Yeah, the technology. Yeah, technology's sort of there, isn't it? I guess. So,
yeah, it is.
Yeah.
With all our theorizing and everything to do with the Hollow Earth, like Andre and H, you guys are saying you want to like see it more fleshed out, explain more. I wonder what the runtime of this film will be.
I've tried to look. I still haven't found it.
It hasn't been anything released, but like with the way we're discussing, it sounds like, and what we want, it sounds like it has to be 2 hours plus, surely.
Yeah, but King of the Monsters was really long, wasn't it?
I actually tried watching that the other day.
2 hours, 12 minutes, King of the Monsters was.
I tried watching it, and I have the 4K steelbook, and the artwork on that is amazing.
Yeah.
And I couldn't get through it. I'm not going to lie. I just found myself skipping to the monster bits because the human element was just really, really tough to get through. Yeah, that's just my opinion, though. And I find the CGI in 4K doesn't hold up as well as when I saw it in theaters.
Yeah, okay, true.
That's one of the problems with 4K, which I'm actually not that big a fan of for that reason. There are many things which I think is far better in 1080p than in 4K.
Personally, I love 4K, but I reviewed the Godzilla King of the Monsters 4K transfer, and it's really poor, especially when it's lit up dark, and 4K tends to be more dull. It doesn't reflect well on that, and especially with the CGI. And I know the Ghidorah Arctic scene, it didn't look that good as well. It looked like a game.
Really?
Yeah. Like that was just my experience with it, and I had to be straight up honest. Like in theaters, I remember the film looked really well, and I saw it 2 or 3 times in theaters. But one thing I can say with the 4K transfer that it captures from the theaters is the sound design. The sound design was amazing. And I remember in theaters, the sound design for that film was really good as well.
Yeah. So I thought what we'd do is take a look at this now. So this is from the trailer. Epic. Like this tells quite a lot of stuff. It tells us all about the Apex facilities. I'm guessing that this is Millie Bobby Brown's a sort of thing, I guess. Godzilla report. What do you reckon, guys?
I guess probably.
Well, who was Millie Bobby Brown? Ain't working for anyone now, is she? She's just sat around. So, I would imagine this is probably her sort of unofficial tracking of it all because she's driving around in that van, isn't she? So, yeah.
My guess maybe her or Carl Chandler's character, because we see him in a little tent with like a PC and everything as well.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true.
I think Mark Russell's his name.
Yes, yeah. But it's interesting, isn't it? So over here over on the far left, it says what's next. Apex facility. I think that says government building is GOV number 2. I think.
Looks like SOV.
Hey.
It looks like SOV from here. Oh, but that's.
Yeah. Well, I guess it could be a G or an S. Definitely building a question mark, and then I can't make out the last bits, 3 and 4. So, and then when I did my trailer breakdown, I couldn't make out. If you look at the nuclear cover-up piece of news clipping, and then down below it, there's a piece of paper that says Monarch can't, and then something else, and then 175 at the very bottom. Like this is the stuff I love, connection between Godzilla plus Apex question mark. Godzilla. Was it Godzilla attack number 3? Apex attack. Yeah, the big sort of squared off section of Brazil. What's that about? I mean, and then we've got Apex 2, 3, Apex facility number 2, all on the same part. That's in Africa, isn't it?
Between Godzilla and Apex going on because.
But that's why I think that they've got the King Ghidorah head. It would make sense.
Monarch stomped as the Godzilla ladies.
It's cool though. Attack damage was it like 3.2 million or something like that? Like, god damn! You'd think you'd be able to damage more, to be honest.
The image at the bottom left looks similar. Like the seismic sort of the graph looks similar to the one in 2014 Godzilla, Bryan Cranston's character.
Oh, is it?
Like I think it reminded me straight away of that when he was like researching for years about sort of the sound waves, and he's like, that wasn't an earthquake. Like,
true.
I don't know if it looks like it, but I'm just theorizing. I'm enjoying the theorizing. So,
yeah, no, I'm all about that. I love it.
They've definitely done a fantastic fantastic job building the MonsterVerse and sort of connecting it. Even like with the website they did.
Well, so they've actually changed it. Did you know they've updated?
Oh, really?
I don't know if anyone else knows this. Yeah, they've updated. I was going to do a video on it, but it seemed a bit pointless to do a video on something so small. Yeah. So they've updated the synopsis. So the synopsis now is: legends collide in Godzilla vs. Kong as these mythic adversaries meet in a spectacular battle for the ages, with the fate of the world hanging in the balance. Kong and his protectors undertake a perilous journey to find his true home. Okay, so again, that kind of goes along with the, the nursery, Skull Island, Hollow Earth, true home, maybe. And with them is Jaya, a young orphan girl with whom he has formed a unique and powerful bond. But they unexpectedly find themselves in the path of an enraged Godzilla, cutting a swath of destruction across the globe. The epic clash between the two titans, instigated by unseen forces, so it's clearly, malevolent forces making it happen, is only the beginning of the mystery that lies deep within the core of the Earth. So updated, but still similar-ish. But definitely more to it than previously anyway. What do you guys think of that?
Sounds interesting. I'm like a little bit concerned about like that Bond thing, because that's kind of like then I'm like, oh, I don't quite like that trope myself. But it's all in the execution.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? Like shit, good films have looked shit on paper, and shit films have looked good on paper. So yeah, here's the actual synopsis there.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's good as a bit of an update. Quickly, pretty good.
Kong and his protectors. What's the Gia? Like this Gia thing that has me worried. That has me really worried. Other than that, this all seems fine.
Yeah. Oliver Wright for $4.99 says, in the picture with Kong and the HEAV, do you think we will get another fight scene with a bigger skull crawler in Hollow, like the ones in the new toy? Yeah, maybe. I mean, there's the war bats. I think maybe more. Maybe. I don't know, guys. What do you reckon? New big skull crawler fight. I'd like to see another one. It'd be fun.
They do come from beneath the ground in Skull Island. They say that. So.
If so, I hope it's a gigantic one, because if not,
Mm.
we've seen him defeat those things before, and he's bigger and stronger now. So then it has to be the mother of all skull crawlers for it to be interesting.
Yeah, you got to up the ante a little bit with something like that.
Yeah.
I just find it
Yeah.
interesting that Kong needs to find a new home. Like to find his true home.
Yeah,
Does that mean
yeah, exactly.
Skull Island falls, as you were saying before. Like something happened to Skull Island.
Maybe. I think that's again just really opening up the universe, though. Really, really nicely done. I think they're doing good things with that. To be fair, Rat Prophet. Fuck's sake. Mr. H versus Kong. I think Kong would win, buddy. I've got to say.
I reckon H has a fair shot.
Nah, man.
with Jasper, maybe. Tag team.
Yeah, true. Oh, he's upstairs at the moment. He's bloody left me, the little. God damn. So Ren Serizawa clearly helped establish Apex and is plotting to undo the Titan-human relationship for selfish reasons. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe he's annoyed that I don't know, he feels sort of resentment to his father and Godzilla and stuff. And I mean, Apex is a cybernetic company, though, as well. So I don't know. What do you guys think?
It's certainly within the realm of possibility. That he's either bitter or that he wants to follow in his father's footsteps. Some kind of chip on his shoulder or daddy complex. It's equally possible either way. We just don't know. Well, we haven't seen enough to get like a clear image, and what we have seen could easily be a misdirect.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. They've been so vague in this trailer that everything is up for debate, which is a great way of doing a trailer. Great. Yeah. That's what you want.
Absolutely, it is.
That is exactly what you want. Comrade Commissar Yuri, could Apex have unleashed MechaGodzilla and people are just assuming Godzilla went crazy? No, because we actually see Godzilla taking down, blasting a bunch of humans. So he is actually, we see him going crazy, unless, of course, it's a misdirect. But, I mean, this one here, we see him firing on. But then this could be an Apex facility. Because this scene, follows with a bunch of humans down in the bottom left corner as he blasts the atomic breath. But I do think it's interesting as well. Like, look how much he's using the atomic breath in this, whereas in the first one, he only used it at the end. And again, he didn't use it. I mean, he kind of used it a little bit more in King of the Monsters, but it wasn't like all the time. Whereas now he's using it just like all the time. So, yeah, I mean, what does that tell you? Because normally he only uses it when he's at the end of his tether. When he's really reached his limit and he has to. He uses it as kind of like a last resort, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Normally. Anyway. So why would he be doing this against an Apex facility? What's the sort of benefit of it? Again, maybe that goes down to the fact that they do have Ghidorah's head. Because he sensed the danger. So he's like, right, sod this, I'm going to bring out the big guns, atomic breath.
Certainly possible. So, yeah.
Specs Legio for $10. Do you think, since they went back to the Oxygen Destroyer, that they might also call back to the alien storylines in this movie? Maybe the old mind control devices. Yeah, I mean, so we've not really explored that as the potential. Like, a lot of people are saying how, Kong could be controlled. Like, a lot of people are thinking that from the collar. Obviously, I don't think anyone is doing that now. But, with respect to Godzilla being controlled, I still think the biggest potential is King Ghidorah's head or the Orca device, which is, I mean, a form of a mind control, isn't it? I guess, it's going to piss him off so much that emotionally he just, lashes out. I don't think they'll do the alien storylines and mind control specifically, but with cybernetics, who knows? Thoughts?
That collar, isn't that just like the chain that held him like chained up? Does it have to be like any mind control with it? Does that signify anyone controlling him? Does that signify that he's just torn it off and hasn't gotten it off all the way yet? That would be like my first thought, but maybe I missed something.
Isn't there a sedative like green tube?
Yeah. So there's canisters. I'm trying to find a picture because I've done some videos on it. There are canisters attached to that collar that look like they're about to inject into him if he does anything. So let's see it. I don't have one of the rear shots, but here's the device. Let me because you are right, yeah. Like it's the collar is clearly there with the. It's not mind control, but there looks to be like a green fluid, like a sedative of some description. So when he smashes down, well, it was in the original teaser. Just trying to get a high-res screen grab. Right, there we go. So I thought I had one handy. I've had loads of these images handy. This is the one which has bitched out on me the most today. Here you go, Andre. There you go. Bright green.
I would rather think that's a sedative of anything.
Oh yeah. That's what we're thinking.
I don't see any like. Yeah, I guess he's under control, as in they can knock him out. But what I thought, like many people went, was like some kind of mind control, and that I absolutely don't see from that.
Oh no, this is absolutely. Yeah, I mean, this is definitely a sedative device. Of some description. But I think, like, in terms of all of the, someone's Iron Wolf says, I think that the green stuff is Tylenol PM. Is that not, what the fuck is Tylenol PM? Is that an actual sedative? Is that just someone messing around? Is that something that we don't have that in the UK? So I have no idea what that is. I fucking no idea.
I've heard the name Tylenol, but I don't recall right now exactly what it is and what it does.
Yeah, but I'd imagine that's more of a sedative than anything else. But in terms of mind control, I think like the biggest potential mind control element will just come from like an Orca situation, or them annoying Godzilla with the Ghidorah head. You can't underestimate the Ghidorah head. Like, it was left at the end in the end credits. Yes. Like, it's definitely around.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, I hope so. I'll be pissed if it isn't, because that what an absolute.
Hopefully
what cop tease that'll be. Will you be? Here's a question: will you be annoyed if it's not in there? Will you be really angry? Will you be disappointed?
Actually, yes, I will. Because then it would have been just like one massive misdirect. And what would be the point of that?
Yeah.
Like, you have like an end credit scene. Of course, you don't have to follow up on it. But to me, that suggests that Charles Dance is going to do something else, a pretty darn big one. And if they just don't follow up on it, that's a pretty big letdown, I would say.
Yeah.
Just world-building aspects, to me, that's important as well, with the way... Like, I don't know how far it's set after King of the Monsters, but the world can't be set back to normal, surely, because we saw, like, Washington, D.C. was, like, basically practically underwater.
Yeah, so it was in pieces.
And there was attacks all over the world from all the Titans as well.
Yeah.
So, like, hopefully they touch upon that as well, like, sort of the world's in peril, governments are just... cities have been destroyed as well. So I don't know what cities are left. I don't know. Hopefully the neon one, that's going to get destroyed as well. That's a shame because it looks great.
I would be genuinely annoyed if they don't follow up on the Ghidorah head, because
100%.
it's a pretty big thing to not do.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll be pretty bloody angry
There has to
if
be
they don't
something
do
with
that.
it. There has to be.
Yeah, well, I mean, look, the initial leaks that they had, there was something with it, but there wasn't anything which seemed to explain it.
Oh, okay.
But it seemed to be almost like a throwaway thing that could have been mistaken as well. And I think when the initial leaks happened, that they were placeholders. So they didn't show images. They showed like title cards of, hey, this is what's going to be here. So easily changed out. So we'll see. But it didn't make any sense in the initial leaks. It literally made no sense at all. But God knows. Again, sort of have to see what happens, really. So I really hope they follow up with it, and follow up with it in a way which makes sense. The Rock, they have a Tylenol Kong severe medication. I think that's what they're injecting him with. Trust me, I'm a nurse. We've established that Tylenol was just like some over-the-counter bloody fucking medication that people trolled me with. God damn. It's me and my lack of American knowledge. 2014's Godzilla's skeletal remains used as a base, then figured out King Ghidorah's regenerative properties to form real tissue over the mech. I just don't see the benefit of them hiding. I don't see the benefit of them having Kong fight MechaGodzilla as a hidden Godzilla. I just don't, because they've already established that Kong species and Godzilla have fought throughout the years. It seems dumb. Again, guys, thoughts?
Yeah, they have established it, so all they have to do is like just follow through in a natural way. So yeah, it seems a bit forced, doesn't it?
Yeah, I wouldn't like it if they just had it as, you know, I understand the callback and I like it, but I wouldn't like it if they did that in this in this movie. I wouldn't be very best impressed at all.
Someone pointed out in the comments that maybe Mothra can make an appearance because of the eggs at the end of King of the Monsters as well. I was like,
yeah,
theory.
I think maybe a bit too many though.
Yeah.
Would you reckon a bit too many monsters at that point? I don't know.
I think it's going to be like a major free-for-all, because you had like so many that appeared in the last movie. They kind of have to like top this a little bit, because otherwise it's going to be a little bit like a downgrade of going from King of all monsters with everything. That would be like the Avengers level event, and then going from that to like this little civil war. Like you have to like end on something bigger. So I think it's going to be more coming. I would imagine so, at least.
I would actually be fine if they didn't top it in terms of monsters and things.
I would be fine with
building and buildings can be a bit too much. You know, I think that's what the Marvel universe fell sort of prey to. You know, too many up in the ante constantly.
More is not necessarily better. Like,
yeah, I would absolutely be fine with it, but I do not know that the powers that be at Legendary and Warner would be fine with it. That's like the thing.
Yeah, true. I see. I'd really like it if they just kept it as Kong and Godzilla, and then some peripheral monsters.
From the trailer, it looks like in city fights, it's just Godzilla versus Kong.
I mean, like the Hollow Earth, I'm expecting to see a lot. Like I want to see people. I want to see monsters grazing on the highlands and the fucking lowlands and in the swamps, and flying through the skies like full. Go proper David Attenborough on that crap.
It doesn't look like
loving that.
Like Titans will leave the Hollow Earth, so it just seems like when it comes to city scale fighting, it's just Godzilla vs Kong. But Hollow Earth, they should go all out. Like similar Kong Skull Island, they did show that there was like heaps of monsters around as well.
Yes,
I mean we had the big guy, gigantic one from Rise from the Swamp. We had the octopus as well.
Yeah,
like the spider creature as well. I can't remember. I don't know.
Yeah, there was a lot.
Yeah,
there was a lot. It was like the water bison or something like that. Yeah. There was a lot. Yeah. Yeah. Again, like, you know, your average player. Again, I just don't buy that they would have a hidden MechaGodzilla, and we've already seen MechaGodzilla in the trailer. Like we've seen him, so I don't think that they're going to go for a hidden one because, I mean, we've seen him, like he's there. So I don't know. I don't buy that. To be fair, I think it would be a silly fake out. To be honest, like to what end? You know, to what end? Yeah. So I think like a good place to sort of round out now is actually with one of the questions that's just dropped on. I'll do this one super chat and then we'll kind of round out. Adam Wofford says there's no such thing as too much monsters. That'd be cool if Mothra shown up. She would stop Kong and Godzilla from fighting, go after the real E. Yeah, maybe. Again, like I get it, but it can work. But I think like if you're doing Godzilla and Kong, there needs to be a resolution between the two of them, not influenced by another force, but we'll see. So to round out now, like I think, look here, theories on whether MonsterVerse will go after this film. So for me personally, I'll do mine, and then you guys can do yours, I guess. I think it's really dependent on who's standing. You know, Toho has made it very clear that they're happy for Legendary to keep their licenses and keep going with it. So there's no question that Godzilla could continue on, but it's whether they choose to. Toho won't let them kill Godzilla. That's part of the mandate that they have anyway. So normally, anyway, that's normally what part of the mandate. So I think it'll be a case of, I don't know, Hollow Earth, more monsters. I mean, if they're going to include Ghidorah, then you have to, and they're already including MechaGodzilla, you'd have to go down a route of Ghidorah coming back properly for a future showdown. Already sort of teased Anguirus. There was a skeleton of him. The thing is, the possibilities are endless with this. You only have to have another monster pop up and make a film out of Godzilla going to fight him. And you can also just do the filling in the gaps. Those graphic novels did a great job. You know, the Muto, King of the Mutos, that Muto Queen thing was crazy. So there's loads that you could do. But I mean, I would like to see them. I'd like to see Ghidorah return for a proper showdown. So I think that's probably where they should go after this. That's a good way to up the ante. You know, you go from like a Ghidorah, go back to Kong as a sort of a battle of the ages, then you go back to Ghidorah again as a sort of a revenge death match. But guys, what do you think?
Miniseries. You realize that right now there's no way forward with a high budget movie, and you explore it in a miniseries where you take full advantage of that format, and you do like multiple seasons where you can bring in multiple villains, you can explore the mythology, you can take an inspiration from the IDW comics. Some of those were pretty good. Especially those where you get into like the science, you can do like some anthology stuff, going through what these things have been doing in past history. Like the possibilities are literally endless, and you have more opportunity to explore those possibilities in a miniseries on HBO Max and on future films. So I say you do that. Okay. That's certainly what I would like to see.
Ellie?
I'm just trying to think, because in terms of like audience interest and how this trailer has done, it's sort of like the pinnacle of the MonsterVerse, sort of like endgame levels of a showdown. So
again,
Ghidorah. I know Ghidorah is big, but in terms of like Kong, the way this has sparked interest, and I think it's just the way it's done over the past day as well, and it's going to continue to gain more interest in the next few months. It's just sort of keeping that interest for the next film as well, because I think most people, like, I know there's diehard Godzilla fans out there, and I'm like, I don't know too much about it, but the MonsterVerse I like. But it's after this point, how are you going to keep the interest of those people as well? Because I think a lot of people will be in the mindset, well, where they're going to go after this. Well, it depends how the film
True.
ends as well, and just see what they do next. What they do next as well.
What if they did I don't know, like another Kong movie after this? Would you be game for that?
I would be down for a Kong movie, or like even a prequel movie with Kong and Godzilla's first showdown. I don't know.
Yeah, I see
like
there. That's exactly what I mean. There's so many places you can go. So
I like
it would be a good
Andre
one.
when he was talking about the history, like even the cave paintings, they tell stories themselves. Maybe the first worshippers of Godzilla's temple, because that temple looked amazing in Kingdom.
That was that was epic.
That was
so
massive.
cool.
Like the painting of Godzilla, like sort of, there was a painting on the wall that was bigger than the submarine itself. So I'd be down to see sort of like an Egyptian culture worshipping Godzilla, godlike. But again, it's got to do with the budget, as Andre was saying, like with the way. It's
see there, do that. Yeah. There you have it right there.
I'm just trying my best here, Andre. I'm just trying to
got some super chats real quick. Iggy says, thanks, keep up the amazing work. Well, thank you, dude. Really appreciate that. Thank you so much for the support. Thank you, everyone, for joining in. This has been probably the most viewed roundtable that we've had, actually. Really, really good views. Thank you so much for dropping in and, hanging out and sort of shooting the breeze with us here. We do this every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, different topics. 9 p.m. GMT, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is the start time. They're called the Roundtable. Dakita for $5 says, perhaps Ghidorah's father, who in old Toho lore was larger and stronger, arrives and it requires a team up of G and Kong in later movies. I mean, I'd be game for that. Like, why not? Again, like I think like if you don't use Ghidorah now, though, I think that's you have to use Ghidorah's now because they've got his head. But you can use the head to make a Destroyer type monster as well. Like Destroyer would be epic. Use Destroyer, get that involved. That'd be great. Adam Wofford says we can finally have Godzilla versus Gamera. We've been asking for after Toho bought that own Gamera. They don't own Gamera at the moment. Gamera is owned by like a not weird, but it's owned by someone else. I did a video on it actually. I'll try and find out, but they don't own Gamera. Last time I checked, unless they bought it recently. Have it where Gamera is in the Hollow Earth. I'd be up for. So are you guys familiar with Gamera at all? Giant turtle, breathes fire, epic.
I know it's a separate franchise with at least 3 movies, so I know that, but I can't claim like any more familiarity beyond that.
Yeah. Well, there you go. Yeah, I think that about wraps it up, really. Ellie Moses, where can people find you?
Just on Twitter, I'm Ellie Moses 14, and obviously on YouTube as well at Ellie Moses.
I've been sharing your channel in the chat, and people know who you are, don't they, Andre? We don't need to promote you anymore. God damn.
I think most people know.
Yeah, you're infamous. I've just shared. Andre's from Midnight's Edge. Both guys are friends of the channel, and obviously come here and collaborate with me on these roundtable discussions. We like to hang out, shoot the breeze, have you guys on here joining us as well. So Andre's from Midnight's Edge. I've just shared his channel in the chat. Ellie Moses, relatively new to YouTube, new to reviewing stuff. With both channels, guys, head on over. If you like the content, subscribe. If you don't like the content, don't subscribe. It hurts the channel. So I'm not asking you to subscribe to these people. Check it out. If you like it, support them. If not, don't. Guys, like I said, we do this every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 9 p.m. GMT, and that's 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you want to support the channel further, I have just opened up memberships on the channel. There will be benefits being added here and there, but it is a way to help the channel out rather than Patreon, because I know people don't like Patreon. But there's links to all of that down below in the description box and all of that crap. I've got to say this stuff. I don't do it enough because I can't really be bothered. But I hate asking. I hate doing. But people are like, "How can I help you?" And I'm like, "Oh, there you go." We've got memberships, guys. Support if you want. It does mean the world to me.
The icon, not the little icon.
Yeah, that's the thing though. You've got to say it nowadays because YouTube sucks at the moment. Like it's real bad. Andre, you can attest to this. Like,
Oh,
it's
absolutely, absolutely.
It's a hard time. I'll tell you that much. So yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So if you do want to help, please do. But anyway, guys, this will be up on the channel anyway. I'm going to leave this stream up, so I'm going to be leaving these guys' channels in the description box. But thank you so much for joining. If you're watching this on the flip side, then thanks. Leave your thoughts down below, I guess. And if you stayed this long, you've just watched a grown-ass man talk about Godzilla for 2 hours, 2 hours, 10 minutes. I'm a grown-ass man. Fuck me. I've got to say that one last super chat just before we go. The Dark Apex theory. Apex is controlling G. And in a second fight, Kong may win, snapping G out of it. And then in the final fight, Godzilla will be good and Kong may look bad. We will assume G is still bad and will lose. It's a good theory. Not one I overly subscribe to, but it is a good theory. I do like it. And again, thank you so much for joining. Ladies and gentlemen, please take care.